Hey guys, we're here at American Print and Supply with Rob Super. How's it going, Rob?
Hey, we're doing fantastic.
Rob, what are we looking at? Because everything else in your shop is pretty much roll-to-roll, UV, eco-solvent, sublimation. What is this?
Yeah, so in 2025, we wanted to kind of expand our horizons into the digital print market, so we're coming out with a flatbed, and this is a direct-to-object printer, so that's what separates it from a lot of our other printers that we offer. You know, you're printing to a film transfer. This one we're actually printing direct to an object. So this is actually a 2x3 flatbed printer. It also has a rotary attachment, so you can do rotary objects in here. But for demonstration purposes here, we're going to be printing on a flat object here. These are bottle openers. So we started with this blank bottle opener here, and then finished result, we have a printed on both sides here. So it is a UV printer, so it still uses a CMYK plus white plus varnish. So a lot of similarities to DTF. We're going to put our varnish and our white down, then our CMYK. The difference is, again, that we're using a UV lamp to cure it, and also we're printing direct to the object. No film and no powder in this application. So we're printing direct to the object without the adhesive.
And what are some of the advantages of printing direct versus using a transfer?
Yeah, I think it really just depends on your product type and what your business is. So for me, this is going to be really good for the promotional product industry. Doing a lot of these when I want full coverage, just like I would in dye sublimation all over cut and sew. I want full edge-to-edge coverage. This would be a really hard product with UV DTF. It's going to be impossible to do an edge-to-edge sticker on that. Certainly I could decorate it with a UV DTF peel and stick sticker on here, but I'm not going to get that full 100% coverage like I would on this blank.
Plus, it can take more time, not be as cost prohibitive.
Right, yeah, the labor savings,
this type
exactly.
Of machine, or, you know, I think of something like a golf ball. You know, I don't want to put a sticker in the golf ball and then hit it and have it be peeling off. We want to actually print directly onto it, and something like
this would do it. Yeah, you have a golf ball jig, so basically it holds the golf ball in a certain position. You tell the software where it needs to print based on the jig, and then it'll print right to the golf ball. So it's a perfect application for it.
So typically we're either making a jig for our products, or we're going to make a template jig, which I think is what you've done.
Yeah, basically what I did is I tricked it by printing down the template instead of having a physical jig, and then I'm just overlaying these on top of it with a little bit of buffer margin on there, so it's going to print right on top of it, get edge-to-edge coverage on it. Some interesting points on this. There's 3 axes of motion in here, right? So we have our y-axis, so that's the flatbed moving back and forth, our x-axis of the print head, but also the z-axis, so raises and lowers. I believe this unit has approximately 13 inches of z-axis travel, so you can put a pretty substantial product in there, and then the jig as well. So it accommodates all that. It has a laser, basically a laser brake, and that's what senses what height it needs to print at. We need to get really close to the surface of this, and obviously when we're talking about objects on a flatbed, we definitely do not want to run our print head into it.
Yeah, do you have to control the off contact, or does the machine
The machine senses it with that laser brake,
cool.
So every time I go to print, I basically say auto adjust height, and it will run through the whole flatbed and look for the highest point. And that's what it sets the axis to. So my z-axis is set on that. So we already went through all that. I'll go ahead and kick this off here. It's just going to resume. And basically what I did is, like I said, I printed the jig. I placed these down on top of the jig I already printed, and then I'm just duplicating the print. So now I'm actually printing on the surface of the object.
So I don't want to say it is like this, but in an apparel term, it's almost like DTG. Is that kind of a feel
yeah, no pre-treat.
Direct to
object. Yeah, DTO. I don't know, maybe we'll start a whole new category. Maybe that's already a thing. Yeah, we're printing direct to the object here. And so you can see if I pop this lid up.
And then obviously it's using ultraviolet light to cure the ink. That thing is moving.
Yeah, and it prints really quick too. So we're printing about 7 square meters an hour right now.
That's typically faster than, for example, a roll-to-roll UV, correct?
Yeah.
So CMYK, and then varnish?
Yeah, varnish on top, so that gives it the protection of the ink, it gives it that high gloss look.
And then white, obviously, right?
Right.
We're on aluminum.
We're printing white, so it can pretty much go on any type of substrate. And we're also experimenting with flexible ink as well for going on flexible objects.
Well, and so like with the CMYK white and varnish, what all products can we go on? Can we go on to plastic, aluminum? What cannot be UV?
Yeah, if you didn't have the like a flexible object or flexible ink with the flexible object, you wouldn't be able to print on that. But as far as any type of substrate, they are washable. So you can see I got a blue design on this one here, as opposed to this one. You can change your varnish levels.
So you can highlight certain colors.
Yeah, exactly,
and so forth.
exactly. Yep.
And you cannot scratch this away, can you?
Right. Yeah, it's not coming off.
Especially after that varnish.
Exactly.
Now, Rob, what does a UV printer like this run for?
Well, that's one thing we're excited about, is this is going to be a value-based purchase on this. When you look at some of the competitors in the field, you know, with the similar technology, similar print heads, similar print bed area, you know, those can be, you know, $45,000, $50,000 all day long. So we're going to be a value-based on this approach. We want to have this offering to a lot of our existing customers already, so they can introduce this and monetize even more with their customer base. So now I have all my hard goods. I might have a UV DTF, a 17-inch model sitting there. Now I have a 2x3 flatbed, so I can do direct-to-object printing too. And basically, I never have to say no to the customer.
And at this size, I can do a lot of yard signs, because I think of a lot of yard signs are printed on these types of machines, right?
Speak of the devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is just some basic coroplast here that we threw down on the flatbed, and we printed these for our open house we did a few weeks back. Really slick. You know, took a couple minutes of printing front and back side, full color, got the varnish on there. This will last outside for a very long time. The
varnish is what gives it that three-dimensional look, though, and that's something I like when it comes to printing. I like to see dimension when possible, if it makes sense.
Yeah, and it makes the colors pop too. You know, it's that high gloss effect, and of course I can go anywhere from 0 to 100 on that. So if I don't like the varnish, I could turn it down, like I did on this one here on the flatbed. If I love the varnish, I crank it up, really get it, you know, to shine and pop. Yeah,
and you can see all those difficult colors that can sometimes be not easy to hit with just CMYK.
Yeah, and similar to like a dye sub ink, you do see a little more gamut out of the UV stuff.
You do.
Yeah. Yep. Again, that's the chemistry of the ink that you're seeing on that.
The biggest thing I've learned today is CMYK ink for different type UV versus DTF versus DTG. They mix differently.
Absolutely.
And that's might be the same in the bottle, but when it goes to mix with something else to create that color. And then like other software, we use in RIP and so forth to get the artwork ready?
Yep, so digital factory on this as well, just like we do with our DTF. You know, you run it through the RIP. Once it's all set up, it's a very similar process. It goes right into your print driver software, and I can print the same thing over and over again, or I can do on-demand production with this. Kind of just depends on your workflow, but it's all digital. So same setup: RIP, print, go.
And then next object and so forth, and you can be queuing them up.
Yep, absolutely. Well, and I feel like the 2x3 is a really good size for most shops. You know, unless I'm super into signage and I want to do, you know, the 4x6 sheets. The 2x3 is a really compact footprint, and it hits is everything you're going to need to do with it.
If you're doing a lot of big ones of these, look for a wholesale trade partner. Yeah. But when you're trying to get into POD or low run promotional products, absolutely. Yeah. In promo, it just keeps getting more and more popular.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can take some of your customer stuff and all of a sudden start branding it. Hey, you got something flat we can lay down, we can put your logo on it.
Yeah, you come see us at a trade show, we'll be handing these out. You know, we're able to print them in-house, so it's a great way to get the brand out there, brand awareness, and also promote the equipment itself.
Awesome. Well, Rob, where can our viewers go to learn more about this UV printer?
Yeah, like all of our great digital printing offerings that we have, American Print Supply. So you can just shoot us an email at info@americanprintsupply.com or 309-328-8767. Get in touch with us. We've got technicians on standby to answer any of your questions. We're there to support you. At the end of the day, it's all about small business, and we want to handhold you through the process and make it as painless as possible. We're really excited about this platform. I think it's going to be a great offering to anyone that does DTF or UV DTF now, looking for that, scratch that itch, what's the next thing? A really powerful little 2x3 flatbed might be the ticket.
Awesome. Well, guys, visit AmericanPrintSupply.com.
Thanks.